Like the same old struggles, that plague me then, are plaguing me still. What up, kids? How are you doing? Happy Monday to you. I'm shooting this Sunday night because I'm trying to get ahead of the ball game here. Last week I was pretty much shooting them at like midnight before that day, so sometimes I came in after the day was over. So here we go, Proverbs 10. If you haven't been with us before, welcome. This is once a day during Lent here, Monday through Friday. Uncle James is reading a chapter in the ancient book of wisdom called the book of Proverbs. In your Bible, the library of books, we have right down the middle, pretty much if you open it up, you'll see Psalms, and then you go one more book over, well, I guess that direction, depending on which way your book is, past it is the book of Proverbs. It's stood the test of time, thousands of years. It's probably the most printed wisdom literature in the world, other than the other two books of wisdom in the Bible, which are Ecclesiastes and the book of Job, which I forgot yesterday or the day before because I was exhausted. And I forgot that the book of Job existed, but that's what happens. That's how you know this is real. Okay, here we go. So we're going to read this chapter, I should say, chapter 10 in the book of Proverbs. And I have not read this recently, so the idea is I read it and then kind of respond to it, and then we get the commentary based on a real reaction as opposed to something I thought of to try and look smart. Because I'm not, so why try? Here we go. Proverbs 10, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. Ill-gotten treasures have no lasting value, but righteousness delivers from death. The Lord does not let the righteous go hungry, but he thwarts the craving of the wicked. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. He who gathers crops in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps during harvest is a disgraceful son. Blessings crown the head of the righteous, but violence overwhelms the mouth of the wicked. The name of the righteous is used in blessings, but the name of the wicked will rot. The wise in heart accept commands, but a chattering fool comes to ruin. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Whoever winks maliciously causes grief, and a chattering fool comes to ruin. The mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life, but the mouth of the wicked conceals violence. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all wrongs. Wisdom is found on the lips of the discerning, but a rod is for the back of one who has no sense. The wise store up knowledge, but the mouth of a fool invites ruin. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor. The wages of the righteous is life, but the earnings of the wicked are sin and death. Whoever heeds discipline shows the way to life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Whoever conceals hatred with lying lips and spreads slander is a fool. Sin is not ended by multiplying words, but the prudent hold their tongues. The tongue of the righteous is choice silver, but the heart of the wicked is of little value. The lips of the righteous nourish many, but fools die for lack of sense. The blessing of the Lord brings wealth without painful toil for it. A fool finds pleasure in wicked schemes, but a person of understanding delights in wisdom. What the wicked dread will overtake them, what the righteous desire will be granted. When the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. As vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes, so are sluggards to those who send them. The fear of the Lord adds length to life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing. The way of the Lord is a refuge for the blameless, but it is the ruin of those who do evil. The righteous will never be uprooted, but the wicked will not remain in the land. From the mouth of the righteous comes the fruit of wisdom, but a perverse tongue will be silenced. The lips of the righteous know what finds favor, but the mouth of the wicked only what is perverse. Alrighty, Proverbs 10. So we've shifted gears here. If you remember the last couple chapters, there's been personifications and wisdom is talking or folly is talking. This is now, the very first lines of the Proverbs of Solomon. Solomon, as you may or may not know, is the character in the Bible, the son of King David, the most famous king, of all the Jewish kings. And Solomon was his son, and there's a whole story where Solomon comes from. But Solomon was the story of Solomon. The tale is that he was asked by God, for what does he want? What do you want? I'll give you anything you want. And he could have asked for wealth, He could have asked for power. He could have asked for peace. And Solomon asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom so he could be a good ruler of the people, God granted him not only wisdom, but also granted him with power and wealth and peace. So that is the story of Solomon, considered the wisest man ever, and he's attributed to these sayings. Does that mean he sat down and wrote these? Not necessarily. Did he say these? Most likely. Did he say them first? We don't know. Most likely not. It doesn't really matter. The point is that's the backdrop of who is sharing this. Very, very wise words. So, what I want to say here is notice the stark contrast, right? It's just all of these passages. They're saying in a lot of ways the same thing, but it's the righteous or the good or the disciplined or the wise get these things, or this happens to them, and the fool, the wicked, the schemer, the liar, the cheater, these things happen to that person. And as I've said in videos past, the objective of a passage like this with Proverbs is it's considered like absolutism. Okay, meaning these are absolutes. 2 + 2 = 4, right? 2 - 2 = 0. If you're wise, you get 2 + 2, you double 4. If you're wicked, 2 - 2, you get 0, you get nothing. We all know that that's not how things always play out in life, whether in certain situations or even over the course of an entire person's life. There were amazing, wonderful, wise people that were slaughtered in the Holocaust, right? There are people that are schemers and cheaters and liars that end up living lives of luxury and die peacefully in their sleep. So we all know that this absolutism doesn't exist 100% in reality, but we do believe and agree in the idea that this is how it tends to work, right? And so the idea is that this is a father talking to a young person. So he's speaking in absolutes, the exact same way that I might tell my child, if you run out in the street, I might say you can die, or you're going to die, or you'll get really hurt. Well, he can run out on the street and not get really hurt. But I'm speaking to him in terms of absolutes because I'm trying to make the point very, very strong so that he doesn't even think of running into the street. Okay? So maybe that's not the best analogy, but hopefully you get the idea. This is a father talking to a son. This is God sharing his wisdom with us. We kind of let the absolutist, we don't sit there and argue and say, well, that's not always true, or you can maliciously lie and get away with it. Yeah, okay, we all know that. But this is trying to say, hey, do this, end up with this. Again, more of like a math equation as opposed to the complexity of every single situation that's ever going to occur in history with every single person. So that's that. And then I just want to touch on, it's mainly about speaking. It's mainly about talking. It's mainly about the words that you say. And if you've ever heard the phrase, people don't know how ignorant you are until you open your mouth, you kind of know what this is saying here. If you've ever been around someone who it doesn't speak a lot or doesn't talk a lot, not like me, I've had to learn that lesson. My nature is I want to express myself. I want to say things. I want to argue. I want to discuss. I want to, mix it up, I guess you could say verbally. Whereas I really admire people that are the opposite of me. I admire the guy, you're in a room and he's just kind of silent, the soft and steady type. It's like, what's up with that guy? Does he know something I don't know? And then if he does say something and it's almost more profound just because it's the only thing he said. Could you please pass the bread? I mean, it doesn't even have to be anything important, but it's just, oh, wow, he said something. And so the lack of words means that each word has more meaning. I try to be as concise as I can, especially if I'm teaching or trying to share information or I'm coaching. The best coach that I ever knew in my life was a coach that could look at someone doing 20 things wrong, tell them, great job, good try, way to go, and then tell them one thing to change. And by changing that one thing, 10 of the 20 things would instantly change. And that's good instruction. That's wisdom. And there's a lot in here, if you go back and read these passages, about that idea. Maybe keep your mouth shut a little bit more. The whole idea that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we listen twice as much as we speak, if not more than that. I was just talking to my son today. He's got his business going, and he had a frustrating time with trying to close this deal. And he found himself just talking and talking and talking. And I was expressing to him that in the world of sales and convincing and negotiating and persuading, one of the rules is that you should be speaking much less than the other person. That's a good sign. If you're asking good questions or if you're keeping the conversation going and they're sharing information with you, that's a lot better than if you're just kind of jumping all over them and telling you all the things that they need to know and why they need to agree with you. That's the difference between arguing and negotiating or persuading. So if you're looking to be an influential person, if you're looking to be a wise person, I encourage you to listen more than you speak. My mom used to say to me all the time, Jamie, I was Jamie when I was little, just, it's kind of the whole think before you talk type of thing, or just stop and think. That was the big phrase. Stop and think. And now I find myself saying that to my youngest son all the time too. Just hang on, man. He's all ready, fire, aim, right? And with your words, if you can ready, think, aim, then fire, your words will probably have much more effect, and you'll probably end up learning a lot more because you'll be gathering more information than you're trying to share. So those are my thoughts on chapter 10 as it relates to wisdom and speech. And oh yeah, is there something on my face? I didn't even notice. So I was putting the two little ones to bed, and they have this marker that smells like a s'more or something. Hey, Dad, smell the marker. And then right, you get the marker on the nose. So I just went with it. I'm like, oh, really, marker on the nose? Well, check this out. How about Frenchie? So if it looks like I'm serving crepes, because that's what happened. All right, y'all. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Again, I'm recording this on Sunday night, but happy Monday. And we have another week of Lent coming up. Please comment. Please subscribe. Please share this with anyone that you think might be interested. I love people that have never read Scripture, never read the Bible. What's great about Proverbs and the wisdom books is, there's no proselytizing here. We're not trying to convert you to religion. We're just, the idea is, hey, this sounds like pretty good advice for life, doesn't it? And it's kind of crazy to think that if it's from a God to us, then it makes the words even more powerful. So there we go. I'm out. Oh, by the way, name that tune. Hopefully you guys are picking up on some of these. Some are super old because I'm super old. So have a great day. Bye-bye. More tunes coming at you. Sorry. I'm not exactly I'm a one-man show here. But a boy can't hope he's getting someplace. But you see, I'm running from the very clothes I'm wearing. And just like this, I'm fit for